Nice. Boom. We're live. Okay, so. So we're just going to be touching up, cleaning up these knives. Sharpened all of them. Or we're going to be testing, just make sure everything's no nicks in anywhere. We're just going to clean them off, be getting them ready to ship off. All right, so let this sit for a second. We did, if anybody's watching, we did make a YouTube video on Tanto style knife sharpenings on YouTube. I don't know if I said YouTube twice, but we're talking about whenever you're sharpening a Tanto style, this is going to be its own sharpening edge. This is going to be its own sharpening edge, if that makes sense. Because what you're going to do is sharpen this section first, and then sharpen this section, as in two different knife angles. Nice nice Microtech, sorry. This one should be good. Nice. And then what we're doing is just spraying a little bit of this on our knives, just to keep them a little bit clean. You just let it sit for just a little bit. We got one viewer, but this is probably the more boring of the stuff we typically do. This is just more of a, hey, I gotta put this stuff on, clean them up, get them ready to ship out. Might as well go live. Okay, seems to be doing pretty good everywhere. This one's a little bit bigger, probably needs 2 squirts. We do have a few knives, though, that we will be sharpening. Beautiful. So on these knives, what I've been using, now there's a lot of different methods, but so far I've been a big fan of the Tormek T8. It's a 360 grit diamond stone, and then I jump up to a 1200 grit diamond stone. But it's possible to get it this sharp with any sharpening method. Maybe not pull through though. But yeah, so I use this machine. You'll turn on. I got a guided little arm, 2 different versions. What we'll do is clamp a knife down and then just be able to run it straight across this stone right here, and it takes off all the metal. And then now we have a razor sharp knife. But I'm glad you asked. You're probably going, dang, this is expensive. It is very expensive, but we're doing like a double live on YouTube and TikTok. Eventually, whenever we hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, we'll be doing a giveaway for a machine like this. Yeah, where do you want? So I actually got mine off of Sharpening Supply. They run quite hefty. It's about like, the machine by itself is around $1,000, $1,200. So they're quite high. That's why we're planning on doing it at 10,000 followers. Hopefully by that time on YouTube, we would have at least made something to help cover this cost. Hey, also, thanks for following me. I know this is a little bit boring. Feel free to ask your questions. We're just doing a little bit of touch-ups, cleaning up our knives. These were sent to me from a follower. Sharpen them all for free just for the heck of it. He gave me a lot of knives to sharpen, made a lot of videos, so it's kind of a win-win. What's the name of okay, so this one, there is 2 versions. Tormek T4, actually 3 I think. Tormek T4, 7, and 8. This version is the Tormek T8. It's got it comes with a standard, it comes with this standard stone. Now, supposedly it can be you can change the grit on it from, I can't remember off the top of my head, 400, 1000 grit, I believe. It's good to start with. You don't necessarily have to upgrade right away with that stone. It will sharpen good. The only thing is, since it's like it's not quite it's pretty close to a whetstone, but not quite. But it'll wear down. With our diamonds, or with these diamond stones, they don't wear down, so you don't have to reflatten them. With that one, you got to resurface, flatten it. Most of the time, you're going to do a lot of wear in the center of your stone, because that's whenever you're sharpening the tip of the knife. So that's the only downside with that sharpening block. It sharpens good though. You just have to, after a few sharpens, especially depending on what type of steel you're sharpening, you're gonna have to flatten it again, because it will like eat away in the middle. Then whenever you're sharpening like this across, you're not touching in the center. So you just kind of have to keep a lookout for that. That's why I upgraded to diamond stones. Definitely worth it. Yes, sir. Not a problem. Thanks for chatting. Like a few of those I forgot to test. But I mean, it doesn't seem. The main reason why I'm testing it on paper is because if it gets held up and gets caught, the paper will slightly tear. That just means that spot needs to be resharpened and touched up. How many knives I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 15. Where'd I put the other ones? 16. Oh wait, I haven't put anything on this one. Encourage more viewers to share your life. Whoever shared that, thank you. This was another knife we sharpened of his. Alright, now we'll start cleaning them off. Start with this one. So we're up to 2 viewers. Thanks for y'all too sticking around. YouTube, we're also at 2 viewers. That's awesome. Trying to grow YouTube a lot more. Okay, so this knife done. Set it over here. And all this stuff that I'm putting on, it's just a moisture. Let's see. All the things it will do is help with oxygen barrier, prevents corrosion, eliminates pitting. So it's just basically a food-friendly version to keep your knife moisture-free as long as possible. So not quite like an oil. It has oil properties into it, but not like oiling your knife. Main reason because these are cooking knives. Nice, we got a follower too. 3 YouTube viewers. Do y'all have any questions? I do have more knives. Yes. I've been putting out several different styles of knife sharpening videos. The learning the Tormek T8 is pretty straightforward and super simple. So I can make more tutorials and sharpening videos. Now with the, where is it? With the, I just made a video uploaded this morning about sharpening a Tanto style. Now the same, I guess, core principles will apply whether sharpening with Tormek, whetstone, or even those guided systems. Because you're going to start with sharpening these two angles. Or, let me take it back. You can start with either set, but just look at it as this is a knife and this is a knife. So you're sharpening this version first, let's just say. Sharpen both sides, and then you're going to switch, sharpen both sides. You don't want to sharpen this and then this at the same time, because it'll help keep this, I guess, sharp Tanto style consistency if you're treating them as pretend two different blades. And then whetstone sharpening. I do have a lot of older videos on whetstone sharpening. Let me grab something. I completely forgot I have more knives that I need to sharpen. Now I took them with me last time. I wonder if the mic's still connected. I took them with me to Blade Show, Texas, and I was going to sharpen them with my Work Sharp sharpener. But we have these for you to sharpen. Ah, we do. We have several. Okay, let's clean off all these real fast. Then we'll jump into sharpening these. Actually, let's put them in the box. Thanks for sharing the live. But yeah, also, if y'all have any questions or want specific videos made about things, we can also do that too. I'm in East Texas. Are you anywhere local to Texas? Beautiful. Okay, let's get this one. Okay, we got all those. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 knives to sharpen, and then my own personal knife because it's dull as heck. Okay, what we're gonna do is switch over to the 360 grit stone. Move all my junk out of the way. I need to get me a bigger or better table. This is just a foldable table from Walmart. Well, what's nice about this is the speed of it. So it goes fairly slow. So there's not really much kickback or accidentals. I mean, it's possible to mess up on it a little bit, but since it goes so slow, it's like really easy and fun to sharpen on. Now this is easy. So here's what you're gonna do, like starting from like the beginning. Wherever you get it, most likely it'll come with this clamp. You're just gonna clamp this right in there. Tighten it down. Set this on there. Next, you'll have one of these. This is gonna help you with your angles. It's got a bunch of numbers all throughout on here. And this, let me see if I can do it without covering it up. So as it sets onto here, this is gonna rotate depending on where you're trying to go for your angle. So if you're trying to go for 15 degrees, let's just say, then you're gonna adjust this up or down wherever this is kind of telling you. So setting the angle is easy. So you'll set this on there. We're going for 20. It's slightly too high. It's about 22 degrees roughly. So we gotta go down just a little bit. And then 1 full turn is about 1 degree. So we'll do 2 full turns. Okay, set it back on there. And we're slightly above 20, which will work. Okay, that's it. Turn it on. And then this part, you want to try to keep it as flat as possible on this rail. So you're going to set that on there. Cover your whole hand up. Keep this on. And I typically, you can start with whatever way, whatever you're more comfortable with. But I typically start at the back. You're just going to pull it all the way through. Shake off whatever water so it doesn't splatter all over the place. And then you're just going to do a few passes. Now, since this is 360, it does get it fairly fast. But this one is probably going to take three to 4 passes. A little bit more. Maybe just one more. Now, whenever you're trying to get the tip of the knife, a lot of times you want to pull back like this. Now, you can depend on, okay, so this is where depend on how the knife blade is shaped. This one's pretty straight. So with this one, I'm just gonna pull straight and then just lift off on the butt of the knife. So I'm trying to keep this all flat on the rail. I'm just gonna lift up on the butt like that. Now, depending on how much of a curve this knife is, you kind of do want to give it a little bit of an angle. Because if you don't, it's going to make this, I guess, knife edge a whole lot, what's the word? A whole lot more noticeable. Because as you're pulling through, it's going to be like all consistent, and then bam, you're going to be eaten into the tip a lot more. Let me see if I have a knife for an example. Okay, this one will be a good example. So, as you're pulling through, let's say with this knife, and you start to tilt down, if you just go straight, you're going to be eating into all this metal up here to try to match this, which doing that is going to make it look off. So as you're rotating, you're going to follow the edge of your knife. So for this one, it's pretty straight. We're just going to keep it straight the whole time. Just like that. Now, if it was that knife, we'll be pulling through and then rotating the whole knife edge. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. So I'm running out of can't think of the word, what it's called. But anyway, so now we're good on this edge. Now we flip it because we got the burr all the way over. 1, 2. 3. I believe we did 5 on the other side. That feels pretty good. Now we'll just do a few passes on each. Can you do... Yes. Okay, so you can. There's different, I guess, jigs for different tools. Now, trimmers, I could do scissors. So I can do scissors, axes, small little knives, chisels. What else? I don't know. They could have a trimmer kit, but I wouldn't know for certain. I think I'm on this side. But yeah, they have a lot of different tool attachments to sharpen several different types of knife blades. Not just straight pocket knives. Okay, that will work for this one. Also, so Blade Show was pretty cool. Not gonna lie, that was the first time I've ever been to a Blade Show. But it was really fun. A lot of cool stuff was there. A lot of crazy knives too. And this one's tiny. I might have to bust out the tiny knife blade sharpener. Let's see. We'll barely miss it. But for this one, since it's so small, well, we might be able to get a reading. So let's set it right there. For this area. Oh, wow. That's actually pretty good right there. Okay, so if you're talking about the name of the store where I got this, it's called Sharpening Supplies. That's sharpeningsupplies.com. That would be the name of it. Also, so the guy that just commented, these are all his knives. I only got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4? These last 3 or 4 knives. The rest are in your box, getting ready to be shipped back. Still says we got 3 viewers on YouTube too. Typically YouTube isn't... There's a whole lot more people that come across my video on TikTok. Which I'm kind of impressed with 3. Which stop? Not too sure what the question is. Which stop in the big do you like to use the most? Might need to re-ask that question. Awesome, they'll be worked hard when I get them back. Looking forward to that sharpener too. Yeah, so he also, for giving me so many dang knives, or let me sharpen so many dang knives, we're giving him the Work Sharp Kin Onion sharpener. That's a fun sharpener. So for anybody watching, we do random giveaways. Oh, okay, you have the same setup. I think the... Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. How am I... So I put my knives... I mean, I've never really put knives on this notch. I'm always running across this one back here. Because I like to stick my whole palm on it. Or thumb. Let's see, how do I hold it? For this one, so yeah, I'll put my thumb at the bottom side. So that way I can put a lot of pressure down on this handle. And then use my whole set of fingers. And then this hand, really, all I'm doing with this hand is just going to be twisting left and right. Now, it will hold it from kicking back, because depending on if you have a long knife, it will, if you're way out here, it's going to try to pull it this way. So this knife will keep it straight. This knife is going to keep all the pressure and weight on this bar. And then same thing, I just flip the position. Actually, right now I'm thinking about it. Okay, with this side, I'm covering the whole dang thing. Yeah, okay, so this is comfortable for me like this. I'll cover the hole and just grip it right up in there. But for some reason, I don't know, I switch my grip depending on which hand I'm using. Okay, okay, so this wheel I'm using right now is the Diamond Stone. Yeah, so the jump to a Diamond Stone, you're really going to like it. Because if you're using the standard stone that it comes with, it's good. It works really well. No problems with that. Where the issue runs into, like what takes longer, is whenever you're flattening the stone, you're going to have slight little inconsistencies. With this stone, it's completely flat the whole time. I mean, there might be a little bit more wear in the middle from the stones, you know, sharpening the tips and stuff. But as for that, it's pretty much going to stay 100% flat, 95% flat the whole time. So there's no readjusting and stuff like that. So I can go from this wheel, switch it out to my 1200 grit, and then not have to flatten anything, not have to change anything. Everything's the exact same. That's what's good about the diamond stones. And then on top of that, they do sharpen really fast. So the diamond stones are worth the upgrade if you do plenty of sharpening. Yeah, you will like it. Oh, and then they do, so whenever you get it, they give you this stuff. Now, for every 250, I guess, milliliters of water, you add 10 milliliters of this stuff to help, because this wheel is partially all metal. This side back here is plastic, but it just helps keep it from getting corrosion built up on it. So make sure you use this every time. Fill it up. Now, this water has been in here for maybe like 2 days. So I haven't refilled it. So I haven't added any new chemical stuff. Just make sure whenever you're done with it, you take it all the way outside the water, which I'm sure you probably do. It's just, if you're planning on pulling the trigger from my talking about it, I just don't want anything bad to happen. Alright, so we'll set this on here. Just need to go up a tiny bit. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, if you do a small business, you'll be impressed. Okay, so this knife, earlier we are talking about like, hey, holding it straight and just tilt. This one does have a slight bit more curve. So as I'm coming back to the tip, I'm just going to rotate it slightly just to help keep that angle as consistent as possible through the whole edge of the knife. Yes, sir. Thanks for talking. Whoa. Okay, that feels pretty good. Okay, so that's pretty good for this one. Go up a little bit more on this one too. Okay. Let's flip it real fast. Okay. Do that. Thanks for sending the gift. We got 3 viewers. For all 3, could y'all share this with everybody you possibly know and like it forever? Well, that way it'll be pushed out to everybody. YouTube people, y'all got any questions? Says there's 3 people watching on YouTube. As far as I know, no comments though. Smells pretty good. It says also 3 on TikTok. Actually, I don't know if there's only 3 now. Now it says there's only 1. Hey, thanks for liking. Okay, a little too high. This one has to come back down. Perfect. Hello, Dan. Stay, chat, talk a little. One, two, three. Got my first. Yeah. Well, the case has so many dang knives. Even if I asked, I probably wouldn't know which one. Is it why they're newer lines, like modern, or did you go with the more traditional case knives? This case has some pretty cool knives. At Blade Show, I was checking out a lot of them. Didn't buy any. Looked at them all. But they have some pretty cool stuff. Oh, okay. Ah, that's pretty cool. Hey, if you ever want it sharpened, I can do it for free. It's just an offer I like to put out there. Let's do this one. Let's go up just a tad bit more. Let's try a 17-degree angle on this knife. Actually, let's go up a little bit more. Let's make it like crazy sharp. A little bit more. Now this is my personal knife, so that's why we're gonna go a little wonky with it. Go down just a little bit. That should be good. See how this turns out. And this is a D2, so it might take just a little bit more. It's feeling pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Spear blade. Oh, that's pretty cool. So we sharpen. So we did this one, Microtech, Damascus. This one was a nice, fun sharpen. We basically sharpened this whole side and then flipped the whole thing. Did this whole side. Spear or dagger. Still nice. They're really cool. Size of this stone is 250. So I think it's a 10-inch. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 10-inch. Yes, 10-inch stone. The metal is, there's going to be a lot of different people that have their favorite metals. For me, I like to stick around a D2 because it holds a really good edge and it stays sharp fairly long. And then the price on D2 knives are typically, you can get them for a good price. Now a lot of people, you know, on paper, if you're going for like the best as in what paper says, I guess you'd say, it's like Magna Cut. But for the price of that, I don't know. I guess it'd be nice. I haven't actually owned one and compared it long term, but for me, like an everyday carry is like a D2 steel. But really, I mean, all knives are gonna get dull no matter how much. So as long as you have a good sharpener, you can just sharpen your knife blade up good. I also do like S30, S60, and S90. You can get those for a fairly good price. And they have some pretty good, I guess, qualities about them. But for me personally, I'd say D2. Okay, that should be good for this one. Now, we're going to switch back to the 1200. Love how fast you can switch things out. Dadgummit, I should have left the thing all clamped up. Where did I even put it? Oh. S35. Yeah, that's a good steel. It's just a little bit more pricey. That's the only reason. There's nothing wrong with the higher end steels. They're great steels. It's just for me personally, if I'm going to carry it every day, I don't like to carry super expensive knives unless I'm going to, I don't know, a special occasion, I guess you'd say, or I'm feeling a little frisky. And I'll carry a more expensive knife. But I'm typically carrying like a D2. This stone is so much quieter. The angle on this one, so I'm putting about 17, 18 degree angle in there. But I don't know if I matched it up. Let me just make sure. Okay, never mind. I gotta go up a tiny bit. I should have double checked on what my angle was for this knife. Because whenever I took it all apart, I didn't reposition it exactly how the 360 was sharpening. So it's slightly off on the back side. So we just gotta run it through a few more times than normal just to get everything correct. Which I was trying to rush through this one just because. But all the other knives are sitting at 20. Alright, now we're going to check just to make sure that we got. Let's see. Oh yeah, so we're able to fix it up. Now what happened was let's see. So I get my, so whenever I clamped it, I took it off and I switched the stone out. What happened was I either pushed the knife up too far or I didn't push it in there far enough. So it changed the angle that I originally had it set at. And I couldn't quite remember. I knew it was around 17 or 18 degrees. But so since I couldn't remember, that's why I put the Sharpie on there. So the Sharpie was telling me that I wasn't touching the very edge of this knife. Now sharpening all up here, but my angle was slightly different. So that means my, I guess your bar was a little bit too low. So it was sharpening further back on the knife. Now, if I would have just left it and not checked the Sharpie, it wouldn't have been able to cut the paper quite as well as it just did. But the Sharpie was just showing that there was a little bit of black line way down here. It started probably from here to right back in this area. There was still a little bit of Sharpie, meaning it wasn't touching all the way. Just one of my oopsies, I guess you'd say. But now we're going back to these kitchen knives. And we're going for 20 degrees on these. This one, just gotta go down just a little bit. Okay, and then just to double check, we can also just run the Sharpie across these too. Which these are doing way better. Yeah, so pretty much got it exactly where it was, which was 20 degrees. Just do one more each. One more. Okay, that'll work. Let me just give it a quick little run through. And then this is even before leather. Once you use a little bit of leather, it'll smoothen up that slice even more. Because let's see if we're able to do a good cut. Now this is just the 360, which it does good, but you could just hear it. It's tugging at it a little bit more. Let's see what this one sounded like again. Yeah, so the 1200 has a lot smoother sound, and then you go back to 360. It's a lot more grippy. But both of them are cutting through the paper just fine. So technically, like, you could just do 360 and be done with it. Okay, we gotta go up just a little bit on this one. Also, we've been streaming for an hour straight now. So if anybody's watching still, thanks for sticking around. we go. Before we take it off, a lot smoother sounding. So we're all done with that one. Before I got the 360 grit stone, I was using just a straight up 1200 grit. Now it would sharpen the knives, but it would take so much longer to remove all that metal. Gotta go down on this just a tad bit. Sounds good. Cutting good. Now the super tiny knife. Okay, it's gotta go down just a little bit. Perfect. Nicely done. Tighten these back up. Turn it back on. Four. Four. Switch back. Hello, new person. Sounds good. Spinny. Gotta go up just a little bit. Maybe one full turn. Okay. There we go. Four. There we go. Okay, so we'll drop this out of the water. Move this out of the way. We're just gonna freehand it. Right across this one, just for whatever reason. See if we can hear the difference. That's a lot smoother. Sounds about the same though. Okay, number 2. Oh, we didn't even run it across the doubler. Had all that little pieces of gunk stuck to it. Ooh, nice. Beautiful. And to get the Sharpie off, if anyone's wondering, you just use a little bit of like rubbing alcohol, fingernail polish remover, stuff like that. If you don't have just like anything else laying around, you can go steal like your wife's fingernail polish remover. Clean off your knives with it. Nice. This little tiny carvy one. Beautiful. Last one. Beautiful. No, my water. Okay. That was it. We did them all. Been needing to resharpen this guy too. Glad I finally did. So it was not sharp at all. Anyways, that was fun. Had a blast. A lot of great people in the comments. Not enough though. Not taking y'all few for granted. Love it. But anybody that's still around, we will be doing more giveaways. We may have given away already our Ken Onion knife sharpener. But like I've been saying, been trying to spread the word. Ish. Tormic T8, 10,000 YouTube followers. That's all we got to hit. Nothing fancy. We're at 1,600. So we still got a couple thousand. But for everyone just from my TikTok alone just jumped over to YouTube one time, everyone clicks subscribe. Boom, hit it in like a day. One day, that's all we need. Anyways, thanks for watching. I think we're done for the night. Les, 5 seconds for a question. Anthony? I guess not. Oh, Leonard? Question? YouTube people? Questions? No? I guess we're done.